what is up? What are you reading? I am Rhiannon and welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I've already filmed this video once. So in January I filmed my favourite books of 2019, which is what I'm doing today. But turns out my computer can't handle my new phone, so I got the iPhone 11 Pro Max? 11, the big one with the 3 cameras on the back that everyone hates. I got that one, and the camera films in 4K 60 frames a second or something. And it turns out if I have it on that setting, my computer just, she's not happy. So yeah. Had to scrap that one. So we're here, we're refilming. I've had a haircut, I got my new Deacon hoodie. It's really soft, it has thumb boys. I now have makeup on it, which is aggravating. I did my makeup for this video, which is not something I normally do, but here we are. We're gonna get started. So, we're doing my favorite reads of 2019, and I had a few, but I actually kind of struggled to think of books that I really loved last year. Even when I first did it, I have the ones that I put on my blog. But while I enjoyed a lot of the books I read last year, not a lot of them really kind of stuck with me as much as some previous years. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to start with the obvious book first, and then we'll do the rest of them. Also, I'm not going to talk about the current situation, but I do hope that everyone is safe and everyone is doing whatever they can to keep safe, and I wish you all the best and all the health and happiness in the world at this time. It's really difficult. I can't self-isolate because I have to go to work, so I'm just doing everything I can to make sure that the people I love aren't catching anything, and I'm not catching anything, so. Since filming this, I've actually been put on lockdown. All of Tasmania's on lockdown. Sort of. It's really bad. It's not lockdown, if I'm honest. I'm hoping to get more videos out, because I'll have more time to do my schoolwork, which means I'll have more time to read, which means I'll have more time to film and edit, so. Without further ado, I'm gonna get into the books. So, the first book that I have here, Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I would also like to say this is in no particular order. I've just realized my eyeshadow kind of matches the cover and I hate myself. This behemoth of a baby was one of the first books I read last year, and I love it. I love her, I love Samantha, I love Ian and Sabrin, I love the dragons, I love everything. It's so good. I have never read an adult high fantasy before. I'm just going to read you the blurb, because as we all know, I'm really bad at describing books. It's just who I am. So it says, a world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. The house of Berethnet? I'm dumb, we all know this. Has ruled Innis for 1,000 years. Still unwed, Queen Sabrin IX must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction, but assassins are creeping closer to her door. Iad Durin, is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Iad keeps a watchful eye on Sabrin, secretly protecting her from forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tane has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. So, Iad works for the Priory of the Orange Tree, and she may or may not end up falling in love with Sabrin, and it's beautiful and amazing, and I love it, and it's not really a spoiler. Everyone knows that this is a queer book, and I love my babies. Yeah, and there was a death in it that really upset me. It happened in the first, 200 pages, I think. But typical Samantha Shannon tearing out my little heart. There was one, I don't have my paperback on me because my aunt's got it, but there was a line, and it's my favorite in the book, about her being depressed, and something about you're strong all the time, it's okay to not be strong all the time, and I just, got me right in the feels, dude. I gave this one 5 out of stars, I believe. 5 out of stars. I gave it 4.5 stars because it does take a bit to get into. I love it. I love Samantha's writing. I think this book is amazing, and I think everyone, if you are into high fantasy, you should definitely give this one a go. I'm just gonna go off of this list, because that just is the easiest way to do it. So the next book that I would like to talk about was one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Didn't necessarily pull through, but it's still going on my list because it was nice to follow a series from start to end. But a lot of my anticipated reads of last year actually turned out to be not what I wanted from them, which is no reflection really on anyone but me. I just wasn't necessarily satisfied with the conclusion, and that's Capturing the Devil by Kerri Maniscalco. I gave it 3.5 stars. I did really enjoy it. I love Thomas and Audrey so much. I got the book box, the book hangover. Is it Fake Crate? Fake Crate Box, which is where I got this hardback edition from. I do obviously love Thomas and Audrey. I have little Thomas there. I just thought that the book focused too much on their relationship and not enough on the murder that was happening. I was so excited when she said it was capturing the devil, because the minute she said that, I was like, well, the minute they were going to America, I was like, H.H. Holmes, H.H. Holmes. And then she's like, capturing the devil, and it was set in the White City Devil. I was so excited for all of the murder and mystery that goes along with H.H. Holmes. Was he Jack the Ripper? And then it was like, it was just over. And I felt like it didn't pay enough attention to the murders or the fact that this guy could have been around while the killer in the first book, who I'm not going to name, was killing people, you know? Like, I wanted something more. I wanted something a bit extra, but I could have used a bit more of a focus on the murder hotel, murder castle, and the murders, rather than Thomas and Audrey being stressed little beans. But it was still cute and I loved them. Again, that's probably just on me. There's probably a lot of people that really enjoyed the relationship, but that is where I'm at with that one. And the next one is kind of in the same boat. So the next book is the completion of a series again, and it is one of the first books I ever reviewed for my blog, and it was one of the first books I read getting into BookTube, Bookstagram and stuff, and I loved it so much, and I read the first book in like a day. I think I was maybe 100 pages in, and I finished the whole book in like a day. And I really loved it, but I felt like something was missing from the end of this one. And weirdly, if I check my Goodreads, I remember this from the first time I filmed it, if I check my Goodreads, it said, I wrote something about something that happened at the end of the book nearly made me give this book 3 stars. I was so mad, and I don't remember what happened. Then one of my friends said something about something that happened with Jax. Does he not have a name? Yes, Jax. Jesus, that took too long to find. I've been here for 13 minutes. I'm pretty sure 10 of it was trying to find that. It actually only took me 2 minutes to find that. But that's still too long considering he's one of the main characters. So, I gave this book 4 stars. I was originally only going to give it 3 because of something one of the characters did, whose name just took me 10 minutes to try and damn well find. And I don't really remember what it is that he did. I have a fair idea, but the book is Finale by Stephanie Garber. Really enjoyed the second one. This one had a few twists and turns. I was a bit like, it definitely isn't my favourite in the series. I would, however, like to reread the series and read them all at once. Depending what happens with quarantining and stuff, I may get a chance to finish the whole thing. Who knows? I'm really happy that I got to read this. I read the first book when it came out, I read the second one as soon as it came out, and I read the third one as soon as it came out, so it was really, really nice, and it's one of the only series I've ever gotten to do that for, and I'm really happy I did because I absolutely love the characters. Something happened in this book that I don't remember, so I can't talk about it. That really, really bugged me. So, there's that, but I did really enjoy Finale by Stephanie Garber. I gave it 4 stars. Apparently I was happy with the ending, though. Was I? Oh, that's what Jax did. Ah. Yeah, no, that was annoying. Anyway, book 3. This book I did really, really enjoy, and I gave it 5 stars. I love my babies, and it's something I don't normally read, which is a graphic novel, and it's Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Oseman? Again, names. I'm dumb. I love this book, and the second one. I haven't read the third one yet, but my housemate has it, so I will read it because I'm excited. But yeah, I absolutely loved this book. I love characters. I actually really enjoy reading graphic novels because they're actually really easy to read. I don't know why I never did that before. Good way to get your Goodreads challenge up. But I love them so much. I don't really have much to say about it except that I love them and that you should definitely pick this up and read it. It's quick, really quick read. It's not very thick, and it's a graphic novel. 10 out of 10 recommend. So this next book I got when I was in Melbourne in 2019, beginning of 2019. I have read this book before, and when I read it I was a lot younger, but it was one of my favourite books, and I have all of the others, and I had always just been holding out for this copy for the first one, and I could have bought it offline, but I just never did because, you know, when you want something and you need it to go with something else but you never end up buying it. Me every day. But it is The Diamond of Drury Lane by Julia Golding, and oh my good lord, I am so excited that I got this book. It follows Cat Royal. I just realized that for the last 3 books I haven't told you what anything happened, but 2 of them were sequels, so yeah. I'm a bad YouTuber. The Dame in Drury Lane follows Cat Royal. She lives in the theatre on Drury Lane, in Theatre Royal. I read this when I was in high school, and it's middle grade, so it's a quick read. And it actually, the rest of the series actually follows some really, and like tackles some really intense things like racism and slavery. And I really loved this book, and I really wanted to reread it, and I did. And I'm on book 3 now, Den of Thieves, which I will read when I finish my current reads. And yeah, I just really love this book. I think I ended up giving it 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. I've written here that I recommend this book as a crossover to YA for middle grade, and yeah, because the later books do tackle like heavy things that I think a middle grade reader could read, but considering some middle grade readers are like under the age of 12, I definitely think that this book would be more suitable for the older middle grade readers into like young adult. And finally, my last favourite read of 2019 was, of course, Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. I love this book. I finished Heart So Fierce and Broken the other day, like last month. Oh boy, so good. I love Gray. I love him so much. That's never going to change. I 10 out of 10 recommend this book. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So this one follows Harper, who falls into a new world. She's kidnapped by Gray, essentially, and she meets Ren, who is the Beast, and she has to try and break the curse. But it's like Beauty and the Beast, but it's not Beauty and the Beast. It's great. 10 out of 10 recommend. And yes, those are my favourite reads from 2019, which I am putting up in March, which is not going to talk about it.
Honey, it's April 1st. Who are you kidding?
What was one of your favourite books from last year? Let me know in the comment section down below. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my social media accounts, they will be linked in the description box down below. And I hope you're all staying happy and safe. Happy reading. Ooh. It's a really satisfying noise because it's the sprayed edges. Oh, that highlight. This is the finale for one of the first